the moment you step foot on this bridge, Kuro just annihilates you through the air.
Yeah, it's true. You really do get decimated. Yeah, no doubt.
And you feel so tiny. How on earth could you, this spirit speck, fight this boring big owl?
Oh, you're going to feel so bad when you feel like that at the owl story. You're going to be so...
It's just a giant owl with purple eyes. Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of everyone's favorite podcast, the Critical Arcade Podcast. I'm your co-host, Nick.
I'm Dave.
Hello, Dave.
Hello, Nick. Are you well?
Yes, I am quite well.
There you go. It's the end of the episode. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for listening. No, okay. You're well. Why are you well, Nick?
I say I'm well. I'm just a tad, I don't even want to say disappointed. Sad, I'd say. Well and sad.
Okay, well, sad. Why? Why are you sad, Nick?
This week, we were supposed to be joined by one of the friends of the show, Josh Koval from the Still Loading podcast, but due to some circumstances on our end, I might add, we were unable to do that collab episode. It's gonna come later in the year.
Yeah, no doubt.
And it was supposed to be today, but it just couldn't happen.
Yeah, that is sad. That would have been a lot of fun.
Right.
You know, but...
He suggested this week's game, because that's one he wanted to review with us. And then we couldn't do it. But we're still going to review the game.
Yeah, because he chose kind of a banger by all accounts.
He did! I was playing the game and I thought, oh, everybody's been talking about this game for years.
Mm-hmm. I had the same thoughts, yeah. I had exactly the same thoughts. Everyone's like, ladies and gentlemen, the game we play is another Indie 500
Correct.
game, this is what excited us about his pick, because it wasn't one of the Mass Effects or play Fallout or Call of Duty. He literally just knocked out Ori and the Blind Forest.
Yes!
We're like, oh yeah.
An excellent indie title, which
I'm
exactly. So glad we get to play more indie games.
And it was one of those titles for me, exactly how you said it. It was like, oh yeah, that came out. I remember. People were talking about it. That was quite good, right?
Yes.
And it was just, and then we skipped over it because more mainstream games came out or something, you know. And now we get to go back to it. And people were right. This game it's good.
It really is. It really is. I was a bit stunned when not only I started, I played the demo and I knew it was good. But after a couple of hours in this game, I'm thinking, damn, this is good. No doubt. Good.
It's another thing what I love about I've said it in the past about the indie studios. This is a little indie studio called Moon Studios, and they're Austrian. I love the idea that an Austrian game got into our hands.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I love the idea that around the world you can make a game and it gets taken up and put on people's PCs. I just think that was very cool. Something just nice about that.
So this week we got Ori and the Blind Forest, and we need to thank Josh from the Still Loading podcast for giving us this game. Thank you, Josh. And sorry, we are going to review this without you because it's such a good game.
It really is. It's one of those ones where, like I said, everybody hypes about it and talks about it, and then you look at a few pictures and you go, oh, that looks pretty, but is it really good? And this is, oh god, indie games. This is
yes.
It's so where the purity of gaming is at the moment compared to big Warner Brothers titles and the like.
If a lot of people are talking about the AAA video game industry and they're saying, oh, there's no soul anymore. It's all about money. Which
they're not entirely wrong.
No, they're not wrong. For majority of these things, it is. And granted, there are businesses that need to make money.
Of course.
Even indie games need to do that. But if you're looking for the heart and soul of video games, they're not in AAA titles anymore. They've moved over to the indie scene.
Oh, undoubtedly. Like, it really is night and day. Like we said before, the indie scene just got so much more passion in it when they make their games. It
does, which is probably the main reason we started the Indie 500.
Yeah, definitely. And as a weird little cap tip. This indie company actually recouped their development cost in 7 days.
Yes.
From making this game.
Yes,
So they made a fortune in, let's say, so AAA titles, they want to make the millions upon millions, but this game alone recouped their development cost in 7 days on release.
That's great.
And then everything else was gravy.
Right, it came out in 2015. It's still making bucks. It even got a sequel.
Yeah, no, agreed. Like I said, it deserves it. I just love that. I just love the idea of the little development team somewhere just waiting in a room, and they release the game, and they're anxious and they're nervous, and they want to know if it's going to go down well, and they just, each day they just look at their analytics, going, "Oh look, we got more sales today," and they just blew up like. They
got back from Friday night drinks on Monday morning, and they're getting emails from publishers left and right. Their bank accounts are exploding. Whoa!
Yeah. And interviews here and Wired magazine there and stuff like that. Yeah, it's almost movie-like. That's what I like to picture with these.
Such a good
things.
story. I read that the founders of Moon Studios, I think they're two lads, they are graphic designers. They were graphic designers for Microsoft Studios. And it clearly shows.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Clearly shows in this game that the owners of this studio were graphical designers.
Yes, you can see where their love, like we say with indie games, you can see which areas where they really put their love into compared to others. And yes, you can see this was made by graphics designers. On that note, should we jump into narrative?
Let's do it.
Now, there's one gripe with this game right at the beginning, which I just did not like.
Well, I think I know what you're going to say.
It freaking Mufasa's you right at the beginning.
It makes you cry. It makes you weep.
I thought it sounded like you said it makes you weak then. It made you cry, it makes you weak. No, it is...
Weep.
I wasn't expecting it. I'm like, oh, damn, you can't start off like this. You cannot just play Mufasa right at the beginning of the game. That's too much. Come on, Moon Studios, damn.
I played the demo, and I remember the demo starting like this. And immediately after the thing happens, I'm not going to spoil, I uninstalled the demo. Because it did make me cry, and I was thinking, no, I don't want to.
It was almost cruel. Now, It's hard to talk about it because you it's the first character you play.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, chunky lad. Okay, yeah, got you. Okay, this is going to be fun. And then everything just changes, and I'm like, what?
Whoa.
It was good, though. It's good storytelling.
It's really good. It's really good. So we're talking about this as if it's a bad thing. It's not.
No,
it really isn't. It's just out of left field. We didn't expect this at all. But it's good storytelling. It's a good narrative to start your game.
No, it really does. It really pulls you in straight away.
You immediately feel for Ori.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, no, agreed. You immediately feel like, because Ori is kind of like a child or baby-like in his
an infant
features and everything like that. Yeah, it really hurts. It hits the soul a lot more to think that the child is now on his own and having to survive and stuff like that. No, it's a great little start. And it's
a great setup too.
Story that goes, throughout the whole game without spoilers. It's basically Ori is a white guardian spirit, and a big tree, right? I don't know what the tree was called, is losing its light or power of good, for lack of a better term. It's kind of good versus dark.
Yes.
And bad versus evil, a good versus evil.
The light from this big tree is kind of not supporting, but nourishing the entire forest.
Yes.
So without this very central tree, the forest will essentially just die or succumb to the darkness.
Correct. And there's a big, dark, nasty owl who is trying to put the forest into darkness.
Why? It's an owl. Okay. Anyway.
It's an owl, right? It's not. It is. I am right. It's an owl.
It is an owl. You're right. I can't remember what the owl's name was, but a part of me is thinking, okay, so you're the spirit creature, and you're saving the forest, and this big central tree is almost as big as the forest itself. And what's the big evil bad of the entire game? An owl.
You say that. Do you know the story of the owl?
No, I don't.
Because you're going to be so sad you said those words later.
No. Oh, come on. This keeps happening on this podcast.
I kid you not. You know, just saying, oh, what? It's just a big brown black
It's just a
owl.
big dumb owl.
That's not scary. Come on.
Okay.
Dude.
I'll
I don't use dude that often in my... But, like I say, it's so hard not to spoil it, but that owl has had a past.
Okay.
And is every right to be angry.
Oh, wow.
And to be black. And to want to just ruin the forest as it is.
I'll play this game more. I'll swallow my words.
No, you really should. The owl's got basically the best story arc, I would say, of the lot of them.
I'll apologize on national television. I'll get in my helicopter, on the lawn at the White House, and I'll fly away, and I'll give the presidency over to Reagan.
Yeah, perfect. It's a strange analogy, but yeah, it is, like I said, it's the normal story of good versus bad, light versus dark, so to speak.
Yes,
it's just like very Disney. It had that more.
It does seem like it, right?
Yeah.
Almost Pixar-like.
Yeah, it's got that lovely little story time for your kids type aspect to it.
Yes,
you know
so
I mean? It's
simplistic.
Yeah, it's simple, it's nice, it's soft tones to it, so to speak. No, the story is great, and there are a lot of times where you actually it's heartwarming. It's like telling your kids a story at night and stuff like that. It's very
throughout the game. You get to the spot where the creature that look after you, I think her name's Naru. With the creature that look after you, you get to the grove where their community lived.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
And you get flashbacks to where they and your type used to, how do I say this, not get along.
Yes, true. Yes, very much so.
Right. They used to not get along. So this character, Naru, it eventually you understand that by taking you in as a spirit from this tree, she exiled herself from her community. Although it seems like that must have been the case. Anyway, that's what it seems like. And it's so heartwarming to see in these
very much so.
Flashbacks. That's the right word. But also not, because there is a past there. Yes, no,
again, it's another thing that it's very hard to describe just the narrative here without going into the visuals, because it's all done in, like I said, storybook fashion. It's all soft and images and, hell, even a language that isn't really English or a language you can understand. But it's got that very slow burn of a story as you discover and you work it out. And there's just something very... Like it's a story your kids could enjoy watching you play.
Whimsical?
You know what I mean.
Would that be the right word? Whimsical?
It's got some whimsy. Yeah, I don't know, it's you've got to play the game to really get it. It's got the same feeling from like Avatar when the world, the tree helps them fight back, and you got the forest here who's trying to survive, and it helps you by giving you its life or upgrading your light and stuff like that. There's aspects to it that are just really, like I said, the only other things that give you that is like watching Disney movies, like the original Disney movies. I get it. Whoa, and stuff like that. Yeah, it's like the same very warm feeling when you play this type of game.
Do you think the visuals have got a massive impact on the narrative of this game? I got it in my notes here that I'm comparing this to a lot of, like I said earlier, Pixar's movies.
Yes, agreed.
I think they even took a direct page out of Pixar's book when they looked at Up, where the first 5 or 10 minutes destroys you.
Yes, no doubt.
And then after that, it's just an entire redemption narrative for the main character.
No, really, it's like I said, we'll jump into visuals now, right? Because we can't really spoil too much on the narrative.
Let's go into visuals.
Yeah, because this game is gorgeous.
It is. It really is.
Absolutely, it is amazing. Now I loved art. I'm not a big art person, but I do like to look at it and think, how did somebody do that, or how did you have the patience to do that? And you look at the art on this game, and it's just so painstakingly beautiful in almost every moment.
Yes. I've no idea how they did this.
Nor I.
I've got absolutely no clue how a smaller indie studio... I'm guessing their budget must have been substantial. I think this game... Yeah, they're owned by Microsoft Studios.
Oh, okay.
Or Microsoft.
Yeah, so they had some sort of budget.
They had budget. And the graphic designers had a clear vision. So I guess this is just perfect execution with the budget.
But I agreed, but there's so much nuance. Did you notice that the bad guys in the bad area, granted it's all black and stuff like that, but the lines they used, like, I'm not an artistic person, but the lines they used for the ground and the characters were all straight-edged and kind of sharp-looking, whereas all the nice areas and Ori and everything are all done with soft brush strokes.
Of course.
Like to show
that
like
seems
delicate
that
and
seems so
like
obvious.
Light. Oh, it's so this game is so beautiful in so many ways. I don't know where to add it because it's more gameplay, but even the movement of the characters, be the jumping poisonous frogs or the even the movement of Ori itself is so fluid.
Yes,
it's so
it definitely
smooth
is.
And
the animations.
Wispy.
It's animations. The animations that every character makes in this game. Even the big characters. You'd think just because everything's tiny, they can kind of cheat and make less animation and it'll still look fine. But then they've got a big character on screen and the animations are still good.
No, it's great. And there's just those little nuances where, as puzzle points, you have to put a rock onto like a shrine so it would activate and stuff.
Yes.
And he'd push the rock slightly up and then had to get really underneath it to push it up a little further. And that little animation sequence of him just having a rock and pushing it onto a pedestal is such a cute little bit because he's still quite weak and he's still very small and it just makes the fight for you helping him build the forest back. You can actually feel like I think it's tough, if you know what I mean.
You're right. I think scale plays a large part in this game. You are just a tiny spirit, Ori. Man, you really are tiny.
Yeah.
The regular enemies are bigger compared to you. I don't know how else to explain this, but when you fight a boss or anything of some meaning, it's always way bigger than you are.
Oh, entirely. Yeah, no doubt. It's really the David versus Goliath aspect of the whole story, isn't it? That you're just this tiny little white spirity squirrel thing. I guess squirrel would be the closest thing I'd attach to what Ori is.
Yeah.
And you're right. Everything about it is big and scary and dangerous and intimidating and and poisonous and everything. And and the drasticness of trying to just survive is there.
Even the parts of the forest that are helping the forest don't even seem to notice you, except for the big tree. But there's a part after the first dungeon where you've saved the tree, or a different tree that is supposed to be generating the water for the entire forest, right? After you clear this tree of the infection it had, the water is now spouting out of this tree.
Yeah.
It still doesn't care about you. If you're caught in the currents inside this tree, you're dead.
Yeah, that's very true.
You're so tiny and almost insignificant that you feel overcoming these extreme odds. You really feel it.
No, that's exactly it. That's exactly the whole feel of this game when you play it. Is that the odds of you winning feel loaded against you. It just feels like it's so tough. It's going to be so tough.
100%. And I think that's a device that they use in a lot of roguelikes. They did the same in Hollow Knight, right?
Oh yeah, yes, I haven't played that, but yes, I can understand.
Hollow Knight is exceptional. That's another indie game that just blew the roof off. You're a tiny bug dude.
Yeah,
You're miniature. You've got these twiddly little legs. You've got a needle. Just a tiny cloak and a face. That's it. You're smaller than the shopkeeper.
Yeah, but everything you have to save the world in some regard, right?
That's right. And eventually, you don't grow bigger, but you do grow stronger. This tiny dude overcame all the odds, and that feeling towards the player, that feeling the player gets, this game has that as well. And I think that's one of the reasons why these games are above the rest.
Agreed. I like. There's even one part later on in the game, well, not too later on, where you go, and I, again, personally don't like that they added this. There's a spider level. Where there's just spider eggs on everything. But there's one part where you jump onto a big rock that's in the middle and it's covered in spiders' eggs. And when you jump onto it, the spiders' eggs kind of rattle and move to denote there's something inside them, which visually, I'll give you, is very well done, but it just gave me the creeps so much because the idea that my nice little light little squirrel person, my innocent little fella, was just walking on soft, just wriggling spider eggs.
We're moving.
Got me.
We're
it
moving
really
on.
Was.
Oh, geez. I'm in my office right now, and I'm looking in every corner.
It is Africa. I know but that adds to it. It adds to you can actually feel like you're in danger.
Yes.
As a little white squirrel Ori person.
Yes.
And even as you later on you find so many things like little force ghosts that tell you, like you said, the history of the forest or what went wrong at the forest, or even I call him Fluffy Snorlax because I can't remember his name.
Snorlax.
Fluffy Snorlax family. You'll see little forest things about this, and you'll unlock little areas.
Is it a he or a she, or is it intentionally?
I think it's intentionally ambiguous because I really don't know either.
I found it in my notes now. Its name is Naru.
Again, that sounds kind of unisex type of name, right?
Yes.
Naru.
Yes, it also sounds Australian for no.
It does a bit. Naru, mate. No, I'm not going to try doing an Australian accent. That was a bad idea. I think we'll skip. We'll move on.
Let's.
But yeah, this game, and even just every color palette. Each area has kind of got a color vibe to it.
Very true.
It's the poisonous bottom, the watery blues in getting to the watery. Granted, ladies and gents, there are like trees, kind of like Avatar. There's a earth tree, there's a water tree, there's an air tree, and there wasn't a fire tree, so I can't remember what the other one was.
Light tree, dark tree, electric tree.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
nuclear
like
tree.
Yeah. You've got to, of course, unlock all these trees, or save all these trees so that the forest can come back to normal. It's kind of, that's a relative cliche. You go to areas, beat bosses, you unlock, and now you're helping the forest heal. But even those areas are so on point in what you're doing. It's so just like I said, the wind tree, everything's all to do with transverse the currents and air and
traversing through of these currents and winds.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it.
Where
it's the let's say the I don't know, the forest tree that's got some poison.
Yeah,
it's all about moving upwards and jumping over poison.
That's exactly right. Yeah, exactly. It's got that transversal that you're getting out of the hole to start off with.
Very true.
Oh, it's just so pretty, ladies and gents. It's very hard to point out how good looking this game is.
Is it true that most of the visuals for this game was I'm not going to say drawn by hand, but painted?
I would be amazed if it wasn't. I know what you mean, like digitally painting, which is a thing nowadays. Yeah, it is. You would still kind of call that brushwork. Mm-hmm. I'd say it was. Some of those things are just. We all know that the world's coming into AI generation. Now, this game came out before that did, so you can't play the AI assets on that. No, I feel like this was. Everything is so clean on it and so artistic. Yes. I know there were so many people far smarter than me, but this. Just the light and shadow aspects of... I don't know, what's Ori's little shooty bug friend? I called him a bug. I can't remember his name.
Oh, that I don't know. Your little fairy mate that.
Yeah, your fairy mate that shoots things.
Yes, I don't know.
The idea that he illuminates the areas when you're dark, and just the illumination of even your little save spots in dark areas and the lights in the dark, and even they do that cool thing about the depth, where they'll have right at the front of the screen the shadowy bits, and like you'll see a spider move across it, but you're playing the middle of the screen as the game, and you see the back.
Oh, that was one of my favorite parts. I love it when these 2D kind of 2.5D games do that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So
2.5.
good.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
You'll be standing there, and you can see a layer closer to the player.
Yes,
and
exactly.
all of a sudden, one of the black parts start moving. Ooh.
Yeah. And they're watching you, right?
Well, they're watching you. Jeez, that makes me feel so uneasy. But that's a good game. Super Mario Wonder does this as well, but they integrate it into gameplay where you go down a pipe, and in older Mario games, you'd go up into the clouds or underground.
Yeah, of course.
Not in the new one, not in Super Mario Wonder. You go in the pipe and all of a sudden you're in a box at the far back of the view. And now you're playing as tiny Luigi, getting tiny coins until you go back into the tiny pipe and then you're back in the level. These depth of field tricks in the 2.5 platformer games, I'm in love with that. I don't get why they do more of that.
Yeah, I know. It's really actually relatively complex.
Of course.
They're
yeah,
so
I can imagine.
Clever.
Yes.
It's so clever. It's such a great... Again, it's another thing that I swear I've seen on, like you said, Pixar movies or Disney movies. They kind of do the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's to kind of make you feel small again, particularly in this movie. You know, you've got trees and twigs that are bigger than you. The spiders are watching you, or the bad owls, or the poisonous monkey things, whatever they are.
Feel insignificant.
Yeah, exactly.
So that when you feel so small, so that eventually down the line, when you do overcome the odds, it's so much more satisfying.
Yes, exactly. You're not overpowered at the beginning. You're not on equal terms with the bad guys, and you're just going to go beat them up. You are a tiny little light sprite, for lack of a better term, that's trying to just make it.
You're a speck.
Survive. It really is.
There's a part where you need to get to the wind caves, wind tunnels, whatever.
Yeah.
And the bridge to get there is being watched over by Kuro, the giant evil owl.
That's right.
The moment you step foot on this bridge, Kuro just annihilates you through the air.
Yeah, it's true. You really do get decimated. Yeah, no doubt.
And you feel so tiny. How on earth could you, this spirit speck, fight this boring big owl?
Oh, you're going to feel so bad when you feel like that at the owl story. You're going to be so...
It's just a giant owl with purple eyes.
Without any context, you're absolutely right. It's a giant purpley owl. Okay,
but I know it's got a past. I'm just joking. But you do feel tiny, and the visuals convey that masterfully.
Yeah, agreed. The narrative that the visuals put across as well is just...
They work hand in hand. It's almost like a movie with a...
I wish this was a movie. I wish somebody somehow like clipped this game and just went through it and like put it as a movie so you could watch it with your kids.
Yeah.
Because it's got so many of those moral and life lessons of not giving up and overcoming adversity, and
it really
don't judge a book by its cover. All of that is all in there, very subtly and beautifully illustrated. I wish this was some sort of movie that could be out. I
love that this game, they don't really talk English. They just kind of mumble. Mm-hmm. Most of this game is the narrative device a lot of directors call show, don't tell.
Yes.
So they show you something, but they won't tell you what's going on, so you can figure this out for yourself by the visual storytelling. A level that does this excellently, just absolutely beautifully, is that weird mystery woods level. I can't remember what they call it.
Is that the one with where it's super dark?
Yeah, it's the one where it's dark and the woods constantly change around you.
Yes. I know the one I'm about. Yeah.
You'll be walking around down the path, and then you'll turn around, and everything has changed. The level is all of a sudden it's upside down, or you'll see a part that wasn't there before, but you didn't go through anything. You just turned around.
Yeah. It's that feeling of getting you lost. And
Exactly.
Right? Yeah,
I really was lost. I had no idea how to get out or how to progress. I was just moving forward by the seat of my pants. It was so well done. And the edges of the screen, I don't know if you noticed the edges of the screen during that level.
No, go on.
It was wavy. It's almost like it's part of they wanted it to seem like peripheral vision.
Okay, yeah. I know what you mean.
And the blue and red objects were kind of next to each other. You know, like old 3D movies.
Yes.
The blue and red, and if you take the glasses off, that's what the edges of the screen look like in that level.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
It just made you feel queasy. It made you feel lost. It made you feel like you're not in control here.
It's like that
and neither are the enemies.
In the movies when you're in the desert and you find an oasis and you're just it's that same thing when you're inside this maze and you're just looking for your oasis, you're looking out, your escape,
and then you find it, but you don't know it's a mirage.
Yeah, exactly. It's got same level of tension, same level of atmosphere, same. Oh, it's just so it does it so well.
It almost feels like a part of the forest that not even the big enemies want to go to, because you're gonna get stuck and lost and... Oh, jeez.
Anything else visually?
Okay, yes! There's so much. I like the part where the tree is kind of narrating.
Yeah.
And he's mumbling... It almost sounds like the Onion King in what's that? Overcooked?
Oh damn! Okay, yeah, I was doing more Jabba the Hutt from Star Wars, but yeah.
that might be a bit better. But the text appears on screen as you're moving, as you're running and walking. There's no cutscene. There's just text in the air as Jabba the Onion is talking.
Yeah, that bit, it's got that same bit of always those bits when he talks, when he doesn't speak actually any language. It reminds me again of Mufasa from The Lion King when he's in the clouds teaching Simba that, you are my son or whatever you said. Simba. It's got those, when that guy speaks, it's so like, whoa.
What do you mean? When Mufasa's voice actor speaks?
Yes, it's got that same level of, I have to listen to this guy.
James Earl Jones, baby!
Yeah, I know, right? But every time they did in this game that you hear that voice,
yes,
you just get engaged by it, and he's not even speaking English. You don't know the language. You just go, "Whoa, I need to know."
Sorry. You were talking. There's just voices. The tree is one of them. Just some voices. Yes. You just can't stop but sit and listen. James Earl Jones, Morgan Freeman, all of them. David Attenborough.
Yeah.
Some voices, man.
No, they're very, very, very true. And there's just God, it was just so well put together.
Yes.
Anything else visual? Because all I've got written down here is that everything is so pretty. Everything is so is so well made and so passionate and so storytelling.
I have no idea how they did this. Josh, you should have been here. You should have been here to tell us.
That's a shame. That's true.
Come on, yes, I've got one more. There's a level deep underground where it's been shut down. It's been cut off, and the entire cave system is pitch black. It's dark. You can't see a thing except for some lanterns that you can light up.
That's right. Yeah.
And the only way you can progress through this level is if you take the light orb or lantern and you progress through the level while carrying this lantern.
That's right.
It's big, so it makes platforming a bit difficult. You can't just course correct mid-air. You can't just
of course.
jump as far as you normally can. that's the only way you can see through this level is if you're carrying this lantern. And eventually you slot this lantern into the battery slot or whatever, and then the entire level opens up. And then you can see, oh, this is what the place looks like. This is where I'm supposed to go.
Mm-hmm.
That's such an excellent blend between visuals and gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so in love that this game feels like it does everything.
No, I agreed. It's like I say, it's those little moments where, like I said, you can kind of see the transition in this game when you go to a new area, because you always it's kind of like you'll see an area that's more corrupted compared to the last one, or
the palette changes
up the last one. And you're right, you go from, I love that bit as well, because you go from okay, I've unlocked my new power, I'm fixing the trees, I'm progressing, and then you go into, like you said, just darkness.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, like it kind of stops you from feeling good about yourself.
Exactly. This game constantly reminds you, nope, you're still not in charge.
Yeah, like you're still not doing like enough. You haven't got there yet, and now you got to, like I said, you're very vulnerable holding this big stone, and it's very heavy, and you can't jump as far, you can't run away as fast.
And there's no other way about it. You need to.
No, exactly. Yeah, exactly. There's no other paths or anything else you can do. No, it is. How they get away with that and just visuals alone is very masterful. I can't say too much.
It ties into gameplay quite well, but let's do audio first.
Audio. So what did you think, Miss Audio Man?
I really like the fact that they don't really talk English in the game.
Yeah, agreed. I read that down.
They mumble. And 99% of the time, they show you what's happening instead of telling you. Sometimes the tree, I mentioned this earlier, sometimes the tree says something and the words float on the screen.
Yeah.
But it's also quite vague. So just before I entered that forest from earlier, Tree Giant or whatever said, but Ori had no idea he would be stepping into the mystery woods. And that not even Kuro would enter the mystery woods. Stuff like that.
Yeah, you do a great impression, by the way. It was spot on.
Thank you.
Yes, agreed. Okay, but that guy's voice, I don't know if it's synthesized, if it's his voice really. He's great.
That's good.
And you're right. Good. It's very, almost a lot of the things he says, or even some of the other things they say, is almost written in like haikus. So it kind of points out to what it's happening, but you're always going, it's always got an air of mystery to every statement they make. Yeah. So you're like, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Should I save now? Because that's I don't want to be killed for the 1,000th time.
No,
again.
please.
How about the music? What do you think of the music?
The music is another one that just true, lack thereof, but that just means that when the music does enter, and granted, it's good, it just hits so much further. There are a ton of games where there is a huge lack in music, and when the music eventually does enter, it just amplifies the situation so much more.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like I have said in the past games, and I always love the use of it. There are areas where there's no music, there's barely any noise. You can hear Ori's little scraping of his claws on the tree branches.
Yes.
And you can hear him
beautiful.
Just hover and fly, and you go, whoa. When you take away, there's security in music when you hear it. When you're hearing the orchestra from Disney playing big songs, or forest noises, and then you go to an area and then you realize, wait a minute, there is no noise.
Yes, well, like a cave, and all you can hear is the echo of the air and a dripping stalagmite.
Exactly. That's right, and just the echoes of Ori's own footsteps and stuff like that. And you instantly go, whoa, this is scary. Like, you feel, again, what they do in this whole, you feel small and you feel insignificant, and you're like, get me back to the place where there was nice music and there was a big tree and it felt warm and I could eat things.
Exactly. Again, I say this every single time, but not necessarily just music, but sound effects and ambiance. Ambiance can immerse you so much more than good visuals.
Yes,
just explaining the difference between a forest and a cave. The visuals, yes, they're doing half of the work, but the big unconscious bulk is carried by the sound. If you're playing games without sound, we're not going to be very good friends.
Please switch the sound on. I'll give you a few times don't, but this game you'd be losing so much.
You would. There are a couple of games. I wanted to raise earlier that the omission of music in some parts of this game adds to the game, which almost works like jazz. But in some games, omission of music is horrible.
Yes.
I'm gonna take the latest Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3.
Okay.
A big complaint of that game is that there's hardly any music. There's hardly any music throughout that game. It's just gun sounds, war sounds, angry men shouting, which isn't inaccurate.
But it's less like you're playing a movie scene, which is kind of where Warfare. You feel like you're playing the role of a moviegoer, right? You're a superhero.
Yes, something like that. I don't know fully how to explain it, but the omission of music in Modern Warfare 3 is a bad thing. When they eventually do add music, it's just generic epic orchestral soundtrack C.
I know exactly what you mean in that regard.
Right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Right? They didn't add music because of time constraints. Yes, it leaves.
It kind of leaves the game hollow, right? When you're playing something.
It does.
It kind of has a hollowness to it.
It's so weird that somehow Ori and the Blind Forest is doing the same thing technically, but it's adding to the game.
Yeah, again, it's like you said, it's good sound engineering or
such good sound engineering.
Sound prompting, it is.
Yes.
You can see where people have fun with it, where people are going, oh no, let's do this, or let's change this up. Like you said, you do have tons of games that just use generic stock sounds.
Yes.
Be it death sound animations, or this is metal and this is ground.
Yes.
Whereas these, are there even minute little, like you said, you can hear the scratching of Ori's feet on wood bark when he runs, if you listen closely. And you can hear him land when you're jumping far and he just lands.
Yes.
You hear that not much, but you can almost hear the weight of him hitting the ground and stuff. And scratching the wall when you climb it and stuff.
Then when you get to parts like you're scrambling for the top of the tree before the water below is catching you.
Yes.
That entire bit is paired with just a massive soundtrack. Right?
Yes.
The orchestra's going crazy in the background while you're trying to run for your life to the top of this tree. And it's so intense, you're gonna die 100 times.
That's right. That bit is far too intense to some degree.
And the music adds to the intensity.
Yeah, no. I agreed entirely.
If you're looking for the passion in video games, it's not at AAA titles anymore.
No. Agreed.
It's go play some indie games. Listen to the Indie 500. Get your indie recommendations.
But it is very true. That's why so many people are making remakes and making large money off it, because old games were better.
Yes.
They had heart to it. So they're remaking games that had heart and just making them look pretty. It kind of makes sense from a business perspective. Because old games had heart and now indie games have just take control of that side of things because, it's one of those weird things. I don't get how big corporations don't see a little indie studio like this and they got their revenue back in 7 days.
Yeah.
So any money after that was just pure gravy. It's bonuses. I don't see why that model is not used in other things. So like AAA titles and stuff like that. You can still make tons of cash.
Currently, the AAA model for video games, it's unsustainable. Spending 7 years on a single video game and $300 million, that's unsustainable.
Agreed. It's crazy. God, I wouldn't want to be in the industry. The industry sounds far too stressful.
It really does, and everyone's just losing jobs left and right.
Yeah, really are. Anything else audio-wise you want to talk about?
No. I think we've got the best.
Okay, now it's gameplay.
This is fun. Gameplay is fun.
Okay, my first thing, ladies and gentlemen, this is a pretty beautiful looking game, but it's hard as hell.
This game is hard as balls.
Yeah, I'm about to say. I know. Granted, I know that Shovel Knight is hard. I know that Hollow Knight is hard. I know Super Meat Ball hard. These platforming Celeste,
Super
all these
Meat Boy.
platforming. Yeah,
yes.
these are hard games. I got it. I thought Ori in the Blind Forest, it looked like a story. It's a narrative. This looked lovely.
Yes.
I'm going to have... But, god damn it, some of these bits in this game were so frustratingly difficult.
Very
it was
true.
driving me mental.
Same. This game's tough as nails. I don't know. I died a ton of times.
Oh, same.
So many times. And if you didn't save after you did something tough, shame. Sorry.
I know.
Good game. Go do it again.
The save mechanic in it is really quite clever. I liked it. Ladies and gents, there's a save mechanic in here where if you get enough fireballs or energy or mana or whatever you call it, you can actually put down a save spot wherever, like a quick save point wherever you wish to. But you do have to remember to do that, which I fail at remembering.
There is zero autosave.
Correct, yeah. Exactly.
None.
You're in control of that.
It happened so many times where I did something difficult. My brow was sweating. I did it, and I thought, whew, great. McDunion rings, and then I move on, and then I don't save, and it kicks me in the ass every single time.
And there are moments where I'm literally I say to myself, okay, this looks like one of those obstacle courses where I'm going to have to time my jump and wall climb and then time it again. I said, now save after you get to the top. Do it, David. Do it, Dave.
Yep.
And so I do it. I make it. Yes.
Nice.
And then there'll be like a swinging branch. And I'm like, okay, I've got to time this right. Yep. And then I miss it. And I fall to my death. And I'm like, oh, god damn it.
And then...
So you go right back to your last save.
Yeah.
And you're like, why? Come on. You can save whatever you want. Why aren't I doing it? It's just... This game's hard.
I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what... The exact same thing happened to me.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again.
Yes, it is brutal. It really is brutal. I felt smaller than Ori that I couldn't... And I swear, and that this game does this very good thing where there are areas where you can't get to yet, which I know is very Castlevania, Metroid type side of this game. And it is a kind of a Metroidvania type gameplay, isn't it?
It's 100% a Metroidvania.
Yeah. And the amount of time I spent 20 minutes trying to perfectly do this jump and missing it, and then I'd go to the next couple screens, and then I realize I got unlocked a longer jump now. And I'm like, oh, god damn it, I just wasted 20 minutes on something that I couldn't do. Because I suspected it was just me and my poor control ability or something like that. Oh, this game, it's hard.
It is hard. But, I mean, it's still a lot of fun. It's still
definitely
a lot of fun as you progress throughout this Metroidvania. You unlock abilities from fallen comrades, from fallen spirits.
Yes. Yeah.
A while ago, you get their powers like double jump, dash. You get wall climb, fling yourself from certain enemies. A lot of different things. I think there are 10 or 15 in total.
Yes, I think so too. Yeah,
something like that. It is. Yeah, you get a load of skills, and all of these skills are helping you progress through the traversal and combat.
Yes, agreed. Yeah, and the combat is simple. It's one of those things where the combat seems really simple enough, but it still has a bit of weight to it.
Yes.
Because you get your shiny little sprite friend. He shoots awesome little light orbs at things.
Very nice.
Very handy to have, but you've got to plan your usage of him, don't you? Because you only have a certain amount of shots, or you've only got one charge shot and stuff like that. Which again, when you run out, you're just vulnerable, and you get reminded that you're not this badass super scroll.
No, not at all.
Wispy.
And to attack, you need to get very close.
You do. Annoyingly so, harshly so. Damn.
I mean, eventually you get a grenade, but
yeah, that annoying little stag beetle bit, which was supposed to be easy for all other players.
No,
I'm sure most people could kick that thing's ass very simply. No. And he's only a stag beetle. I actually kind of felt bad for him. He's only hungry too. I was like, I guess I look tasty. Oh, it's hard, but I get this. That's kind of the gameplay loop. People like that. You want the achievement of doing this bit and saving and the progression of leveling up your skills and there's a lovely exploration aspect to the game where you find those shrines where if you put enough energy into it, you get this little Force ghost story, shows you where Fluffy Snorlax was from and stuff like that.
Yes.
It unlocks little bits of the story, which is it just pulls you forward so well, and you just want to keep doing it again and again.
It does. I enjoyed the gameplay for this game for loads of different reasons. But there are certain nuances in this game during the gameplay that I don't think a lot of people notice. I think there's a lot of tiny things the developers added. Tiny things the developers added that a lot of people just don't notice, but that still add to the game. For instance, there's throughout all of the levels, there are big map stones.
Yeah.
That you can only access once you add a map fragment.
That's correct, yeah.
And both of these things are stones. There's a big boulder, and you add the map fragment, which is a stone, to complete it, and then you get the map of the entire level.
Yeah.
That's throughout the entire game. Did you notice whenever you access your map and you look around the map, there's a sound effect?
Yeah, I can't say I can immediately remember what that is, but yeah, I guess.
When you open your map and you look around on your map, the sound effect that you can just barely hear is stone grinding on stone.
Okay, so
further to denote that this map you're using isn't just a mechanic of the game, it's a part of the world. You're looking at a stone, you're looking around on these stone fragments, these boulders.
I understand what you mean. They actually made it more canon, for lack of a better term.
Yes, again, just further emphasizing parts of this game using sound. I know we're on gameplay right now. I forgot to mention this, but this is where the passion is.
Yes, I agreed. And this, if you do, like I say, if you do love, everybody did love Celeste, everybody does love Castlevania, everybody does love, I don't know, does everybody love Super Meat Boy? I'm not sure if everybody loves that anymore. These games, it's a lovely combination of being one of those platformy, puzzly, transversal things, but with a beautiful story. Which is quite rare out there. I'll give you Hollow Knight has a very nice story and the same type of thing. But the story is so, I don't know, the only word that keeps coming to my mind is soft, because it touches on so many different things, and it's a tough game to play. The Hollow Knight's the only other one I can really compare that to. And the story hits you hard, and then the gameplay smacks you in the face. The gameplay, sometimes you have to be so pixel perfect for your wall jumps and stuff like that drives me a bit balmy. Did you find that? It's like the little... the wall jumps, you got little spiky, I don't know, cactus or something on there.
Of course.
Oh, God, I was the worst at the wall climbing. Jump left, jump right, jump left, jump right bits.
Yeah. I think the only part that I think isn't a bad thing, just a side effect of everything being painted digitally and then imported into the game is there's no clear, pixel perfect distinction between where tree ends and spikes begin.
Yes, that's very true.
Right?
Yes,
it's very true. It's super nitpicky, and it's actually not an issue, but I've sometimes landed on what I thought was the edge of a branch, but according to the game, that was the edge of a spike.
Agreed. That's where it kind of let you down a little bit.
But just slightly.
Yeah, it is. It's very nitpicky. I agree entirely. But that's what always kind of got me. This game, I'll give you, made me rage quit a couple times. Just because it was a combination of those spiky bits and not saving. And I'm just like, no, this is enough now. I'm just going. Yes. And they say that's what you're supposed to do. They say that when you get frustrated in gaming and stuff like that, your reflexes and your ability to play the game actually do diminish.
Really?
And if you do come back in an hour when your state of mind has become less frustrated, you're actually, there is proven aspects to that in video gaming. People have especially in games like competitively.
Yes.
Counter-Strike and stuff like that. When you get angry and frustrated, your ability to play the game actually does decrease. You get diminished. Which is interesting. I definitely got diminished with some bloody parts of this game where I was like, I literally was saying words, well, that's impossible. they've made a part of this game impossible. Nobody can do this. And then there's like 60 million like YouTube videos just saying how to easily traverse this section. Oh. But no, it's good. The gameplay is good.
The gameplay is good. The combat is good. There's a leveling system with the
that's right.
Skill tree. Very basic, but it's there. The Metroidvania systems work very well.
Yes, they do.
I like mostly how the visuals and gameplay tie. Visuals are excellent. The gameplay sometimes don't keep up.
Yeah, agreed. It got too frustrating to me in the end, the gameplay.
Hard as balls. I think we've got it down for gameplay. I like the different mechanics for different parts of the levels. This one's dark. Ooh, this one is the water level. This one is the windy level.
Yeah.
I like that they do that.
Yeah, very, very, very much Avatar-esque. I like that. Have you watched Avatar? I keep bringing
Avatar, the James Cameron movies.
I know, The Last Airbender.
Oh, The Last Airbender.
And his story,
Aang,
Korra.
Korra. Ooh. What's the brother's name? Oh, damn, what's the... I can't remember.
I don't know.
I can't remember what her brother's name is.
It's Korra Aang, Korra's brother, blind rock chick. Oh, and the guy who has tea, the uncle, he's cool. And the fire guy who's the
fire guy. Okay, I'm going to rewatch Avatar. I watched it, I think, 10 years ago at this point.
Everybody should rewatch Avatar, the anime, and the series. Nothing else. And the new series that comes out looks horrible, or sounds.
It does? I've not even seen the trailers.
Oh, jeez. It's not out yet, but there was a statement on the internet that they're trying to aim it at people who enjoyed Games of Thrones. And what was some other thing like this is there are going to be episodes that make adults think or something like that, and everybody on the internet's like, why can't you just do the Nickelodeon's version was perfectly fine. Just redo that, please. Yeah, but the world we live in.
Oh, come on. Okay.
I know, it's insane.
I didn't know that. Oh, jeez.
I digress. But yes, the wind, earth, water, and not fire. I can't remember the main tree.
Main tree.
Yeah.
Which
is great. You're right. It's a great and the gameplay aspects for each area changes up. Be it after, like you said, having to dodge or use fluid mechanics and how to work out to deal with the water, the currents and the wind of the windy tree, like you said, just the darkness and the solidness or the toughness of the rock type tree. So
I like all of this, and I think the gameplay is quite well. How about we move on to performance?
I had no issues, like zero.
Did not either.
You kept me on the edge of my seat there.
No, I'm trying to think. I've got no notes here of issues I had performance-wise, but
my only issues with my own performance and saving, but that's not really their fault. So I can't really blame them. No, this ran very smoothly. It was quick, smooth, lovely, low loading times.
Nice high frame rate.
Yeah, exactly.
I enjoyed it.
It was made well. It was a solid game.
That's what I like about indie games as well. The scale isn't colossal. The ambition isn't unchecked. It's a contained game, meaning to make it is entirely possible. And after you make it, you can polish it, which is also entirely possible.
Exactly.
When things get out of hand, like Cyberpunk 2077, an unchecked ambition.
Yeah.
That's when things start to fall apart.
Oh, agreed entirely. That's the perfect example of a game that just got too ambitious and too many chefs.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and this is the opposite. Like I said, I can't remember reading how many people was on the development team, but I bet you it wasn't many. Like under 30 probably did this game. And you can see it. Like I said, it's fundamentally interesting, and we discussed this a lot. How I even read an article just the other day where one big CEO of a gaming company said it's impossible now to make games that don't crash on people's PCs because there's different graphics cards, different motherboards, different
I get
CPUs,
it. PCs from 20 years ago.
Yeah. But then you get this game. This is what, like you said, they made a whole game and a whole unit, and then they just concentrated on polishing it.
Yes.
So that which makes it kind of makes the point that why couldn't you do that with your game? Like, I'll give you it to take longer.
Yes.
And you'd need more people, and it would be a ton of work, but it doesn't really, it kind of counters the point that they can do it. So why couldn't you? Like,
I know it's much more complicated than that.
It is, yes.
Right, sure but still, just don't make buggy games.
Yeah, I know.
This is an example of how not to make a buggy game, and it isn't 100 gigabytes big.
No, this game was.
But then don't make games too big. Don't do it.
Yeah, because you're just going to add more complexities and problems, really.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know what the answer is. Yeah, no.
Me neither. Me neither.
What do you think value for money wise then?
Value for money is... this game doesn't have any paid DLC or extras. It's just a package for the game that you buy and you play.
There was a definitive edition though, right?
What did that add?
I think it was just more ran at 4K, smoother, just a upgrade.
Updates?
Upgrade, yes. I don't think they added anything else, like content-wise. I think it was just...
Oh, that's
I think this game came out quite a while ago, right?
Yes.
So it's possibly just to run on the newer consoles and the like.
Oh,
I didn't really write it down.
Okay.
So I'm
that
guessing
makes
it was
complete sense.
Yeah,
that
you
makes
got good
sense.
frame rates and stuff like that. On Steam, I found it for $15 and Nintendo for $17 and Xbox for $15 too.
That's fine. That's good.
It's not a bad price. It's an old game. When did this game come out? I actually
2015.
Oh wow, so it's like 9 years old. I didn't know it was that old.
Yes, 9 years. This game looks incredible for 9 years.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know it was that old.
But again, visuals. This visual scheme is what's the word I'm looking for? Timeless?
Yes, yeah, no, it's right. It will never. No one ever is going to look at this game and say, "Oh, look at those pixels." Or,
but if
look how horrible that is.
That's what I don't like about games trying to be realistic. Your Call of Duties, your GTAs. Mm-hmm. It ages eventually.
Oh, it really does. It really
eventually, GTA 6 is gonna look aged.
Agreed. I look forward to like 30 years time, and people look at Minecraft and just gonna be confused. Like just look at why?
Okay,
why?
I'm of the opinion that Minecraft has a timeless visual style. It's just different, but that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion.
I am a huge fan of pixel art and pixel sprites. I love pixel art. It's the best. It's but that's mainly because I grew up with it, so there's a nostalgia kick to it as well. But I love pixel art. There's
a ton of people that are starting to fall in love with low poly just because that's PS1 graphics.
Yes, yeah, no, I get it. It's all nostalgia. It's all feelings of good times where the world seemed a bit more sane. So then you got that connection to your like the visuals and the games and your books and everything back in the day. Yeah, it really is. And I'm a sucker for that. That's why we love remakes so much of old games we played as kids. Like we're all big suckers for that fundamentally.
We're getting off track again.
Sorry. Value for money wise, it's priced well. It's definitely one of those games.
I'd pay $30 for this when it came out and it's new. I'd pay $30 for this.
Agreed.
I would.
And it's one of those games where it should be on your bucket list. It's one of those games everyone should play
or try.
Yeah, it's the story is great. The gameplay is great. You'll come back off it thinking, "Oh wow, that was a lot of fun." Especially for indie games, and then not a massive time drain. If you were dedicated enough, this game you could do in like a fortnight. I don't know. It depends on how much time you have off work and kids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's one of those ones that's going to come to an end quite quickly, and it's going to wrap itself up nicely in a bow. It is. It's definitely worth. I'd put it on a bucket list of games that one must play.
Truly.
Yeah, no doubt.
I would do that as well, because this is not only a visually stunning game, but also engaging and definitely worth your time and money.
Agreed. Yes, and it's always fun to help indie developers out. It's a lot better than giving it to Ubisoft or Ubisoft.
This is where the heart and souls moved on to. Just support the indie developers. It's not that difficult.
No, agreed,
well,
entirely.
I mean, if you've not got any money, then sure, it might be a bit more difficult than others. But this is where you should be spending your money. Stop giving it to Activision. Bobby Kotick's got enough.
No, he's got tons. Like I said, I still can't get over that Warner Brothers sold their Suicide Squad for $100 for early access for it, and it's fundamentally a game as a service game. $100. You could buy this like 8 times.
Jeez.
For a bit less than 8, 6.5.
That is insane. But
it blows you away. It really does.
AAA scene. It's starting. It's a bit sick at the moment.
Yes, agreed.
Go to your other friend's house. They don't have as many toys, but damn, it's gonna be a good time.
They got the good toys. No, it's very, like I said, I put it on my bucket list of a game that everybody should play at least once. The thing is, has it got replayability? I'd probably say no.
What? Of course.
Would you replay this?
I mean, if I like the gameplay loop. If you like the gameplay loop, yes. You like to re-explore these levels, like any game really. If you like the gameplay loop, then yes, this game's got a ton of replayability. Some games you can only play once, but the gameplay loop, that's what catches some people. And in this case, I think the gameplay loop is, what's the word? Catchable?
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree, but like I've told you in the past, I'm a narrative person. For me, I full out the narrative. I know what's going on. The game's now done for me to some degree.
That makes complete sense.
It's unfair because it is a good platform and the Metroidvania aspect of it is very solid and fun. But like I said, for me, this is I played it, great story, had a great time. I'd happily have this on my shelf as a game that one should keep and hold on to because it's got a nostalgia. But yeah, I'd say it's, for me, the value for money kind of dips there a bit because you can't go back and...
that's completely fine.
New Game Plus, so to speak.
There are too many games to sit with one for too long.
Yes, agreed, entirely.
But yeah, that's Ori and the Blind Forest. Another entry in our prestigious Indie 500 series that you should check the rest out as well. Thank you, Josh Koval from the Still Loading podcast, for suggesting this game. Sorry you couldn't be here to join us in this review. Next time, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
This is... I enjoyed this game a lot. I would like to finish it. I didn't get a chance to finish it this week, but I would like to finish it eventually because it's that good. And I want to figure out what's up with Kuro.
Yeah, you are going to eat your words later. There's no doubt.
Just an owl.
Yeah, the big purple with purple eyes. Yeah, that's all she is.
Oh, right. Shit! Oh, okay.
That's all she is.
She is an owl. Yeah. This game, Ori and the Blind Forest, let's see here. Our scores, we wrote down, and then we left in the middle of the forest because we don't care about those scores. The forest is dying. The scores, we just left at a tree. But then Panda Snorlax got our scores and raised our scores as her own scores. And then eventually stuff happened that I'm not going to spoil. But our scores got reinvigorated by Jabba the Onion Tree into the letter grade rating of B. A good B, baby.
That's the same as Earthworm Jim.
Good game.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Fine, not as good game.
It's funny to compare them to like there was a retro game there, there's an indie game there, and then there was Assassin's Creed Valhalla, a AAA game.
Oh, it takes two.
It takes two.
It takes two, baby. Another good ass game.
Yeah. But like I said, it's always cool to see indie games, at least from our little spreadsheet, scoring the same as multi-million-dollar funded games.
Yes.
And you just go, see? Look,
see?
They had like 1% of that budget, but they scored the same as your game. So
I get it. Yeah. Some people, okay, that's good. That's Ori and the Blind Forest. I'm very happy. I enjoyed this game a lot. I'm so happy that we have this Indie 500 series so we can dive into the indie bucket of games.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Always fun. Yeah.
Just a lot of fun. But yeah, thank you for listening to this week's episode. If you'd be so kind, you can leave us a review. You can follow us on our social channels on YouTube and Instagram. We're doing quite well on YouTube now, it seems.
Yeah, because it's fun. People have finally found out how great we are.
It's not
surprising in the slightest. Yeah,
so go check us now. Go check us out on YouTube. Or you can catch me on email. I'm nick@criticalarcade.com.
And I'm Dave@criticalarcade.com.
Besides your email, Dave, where else can we follow you?
Well, you can follow me. I am out and about, but strangely enough, be it my phobia, I did actually manage to collect a lot of those wriggly, squiggly spider eggs.
Don't say it.
With Ori's friend. And, I've now, because I've become friends with the spider guy who looked like a Geodude with legs, I will have him cover you in those eggs forever. Oh! You will have little egg sacks of spiders all throughout your skin.
I'm squirming. Please
no,
stop.
it's gross. It's just even saying this sentence is starting to give my heart rate increase. So yeah, if you want to if you want to be covered in wiggly jiggly spider eggs,
no!
by all means,
this is the worst one you've made, Dave.
wiggly squiggly spider egg just sounds like a really generic kiddies game, like Hungry Hippos.
I guess.
I would never play it, but it does
No, me neither. Me neither. Yeah. Don't follow Dave. I'm gonna cut you off right now before you say something else. Support us on Patreon for exclusive content that does not contain spiders or eggs. Oh jeez, David, what have we got lined up for next week?
Next week we've got I want to say classic. I don't know if it is a classic. It's golf.
It's golf. I mean,
it's golf.
But it's not. Sure, the golf is classic, but this game.
But it's not you golf. It's not my golf. It's everybody's golf.
Everybody's golf.
I know, right? An inclusive, all-round everybody's golf.
Whoa!
So yeah, we're revisiting. It was a game from my childhood, but we're revisiting the PlayStation 4 kind of like re-release of everyone's golf.
Yeah.
Not much more you can say about it. It's a golf game. It's for everybody. It looks fun. Looks kind of like a Wii game to me, with like the weird little faces that don't animate and stuff like that.
It's very Japanese.
Yeah, so Japanese golf for everybody. That's next week's. I look forward to it. I don't know much about golf, but it looks like it could be fun.
As do I, and I don't know much about everybody. I don't know where that joke went.
Yeah,
it's time to sign off.
That was great.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for tuning into this week's episode of the Critical Arcade Podcast. We'll see you next week. Cheers.
Cheers.